Most people hear survival tools and instantly picture expensive, tactical-looking gadgets. But when you're dealing with real-world problems, power outages, storms, getting stranded in your car, or a day that turns into an unexpected night, the stuff that matters is way simpler. Clean water, reliable light, basic warmth, first aid, and the ability to fix small problems fast. In this video, we're putting together a realistic setup with 20 tools you actually need, and the whole thing stays under $400. No gimmicks, no one tool does everything nonsense, just practical gear that's easy to use, easy to replace, and worth the space in your home kit or go bag. Number 1. Squeeze water filter. Clean water is the boring thing that decides whether you're uncomfortable or in real trouble. In most everyday emergency storms, broken pipes, boil water notices, getting stuck on the road water is the first domino. A squeeze-style filter is a solid beginner pick because it's simple, light, and doesn't demand a bunch of extra parts to work. The main shopping tip is to skip the tiny micro-filters that look cute but feel painfully slow when you're tired and actually thirsty. Go for a full-size squeeze filter from a known brand, and make sure it's the kind you can maintain instead of a disposable gimmick. Budget target, about $35 to $50. What to look for in plain English? It should feel sturdy, it should connect easily to common bottles or the included pouch, and it should have a simple way to restore flow when it starts slowing down. Dirty water is normal in real emergencies, so the ability to maintain it matters. Another detail people miss: cold weather. Many filters can be damaged if they freeze while wet, because ice can affect the inside parts. That doesn't mean you can't use them in winter. It just means you treat it like something you keep warm and dry when temperatures drop. If you're building a car kit in a cold climate, plan for that. And don't get stuck in brand wars. The differences between decent filters matter a lot less than having one you actually carry and know how to use. Also, think about compatibility. If your filter can connect to the bottle or pouch you already have, you're more likely to keep your setup simple. Simple setups get used. Complicated setups get left at home. Practical tip: don't treat your filter like a trophy that stays in the box. Test it at home with tap water, then pack it dry. That way the first time you learn how it works isn't during a blackout or on the side of the road. If you want the easiest filter life upgrade ever, run water through a cloth or bandana first when it's gritty-less gunk going in. Means less frustration later. And if you're prepping for an apartment or a city, this still matters. Water issues happen in cities all the time, and waiting in line for bottled water is not a plan. Number 2. Collapsible water container. Filtering water is only half the job. You also need a way to move and store it without turning your bag or car into a rolling plastic jug circus. A collapsible container gives you volume on demand, which is perfect for small spaces. When you don't need it, it folds down flat. When you do need it, you can fill it fast and carry a useful amount without making 10 trips. Budget target, about $10, $18. What to look for: a wide opening, so you can fill it without a mess, a cap that seals well, and a handle you can actually grab with wet hands. In real life, you'll be filling this from a sink, a spigot, or whatever source is available. And the easier it is to fill, the more likely you are to use it. A common beginner mistake is buying only tiny bottles and realizing too late that water storage means you need volume. Even a few gallons at home can take the edge off a short outage. Simple prepping hack: label the container with a piece of tape and a date when you fill it for storage, so you know when to rotate. No spreadsheets required. Just a quick note that keeps you honest. Also, remember, water is heavy. Don't pack more than you can safely carry. If you're building a kit for home, a simple baseline many people use is roughly a gallon of water per person per day for a few days. Then adjust for your climate, pets, and how much you cook. You don't have to hit perfection on day one. Start with something and improve it. Number 3. Water purification tablets. A filter is a tool. Tablets are a safety net. They weigh almost nothing, they don't need power, and they don't care if your filter gets damaged, frozen, or clogged. They're also handy in situations where you're not sure about the water source and you want a backup method in your pocket. Budget target, about $8 to $12. The key with tablets is simple. Buy a sealed package. keep it dry, and when you need them, follow the label directions exactly. That keeps things safe without guessing. Don't eyeball anything. Don't improvise your own chemistry. Just follow the instructions the manufacturer provides. Another real-world tip: check the expiration date once a year and replace them when needed. This is one of those items that can sit quietly for a long time, so a quick yearly check keeps you from discovering an issue at the worst moment. This is also an item that makes your kit feel calmer. You're not depending on one gadget to solve a major problem. If your filter is your everyday driver, tablets are your spare tire quietly sitting there until the day you're really glad you packed them. Number 4. Stainless steel boil cup. A small stainless steel cup or pot is basically the multi-tool of cooking and water. It lets you boil water, warm up simple food, and gives you a durable container that won't crack if it gets tossed around. Stainless is durable, easy to clean, and doesn't need babying. Budget target, about $12–18. A lid is a bonus because it helps heat faster and keeps dust out. A fold-out handle is nice because it keeps your fingers away from heat, but any design that feels sturdy works. The real win is versatility. This one item covers, I need to heat something, I need to boil, and I need a tough cup without taking up much space. Beginner reality check. You don't need a full camp kitchen for a short emergency. A simple metal cup plus basic food, like instant soup, oatmeal, or ramen, handles a lot. The goal is not gourmet. The goal is warm calories and warm morale. If you're building a kit for your car, this is also useful as a general-purpose container mixing, measuring, scooping, even just keeping small items together so they don't vanish into the trunk. Number 5. Manual can opener. This tool is so unglamorous that people forget it, and then they're staring at a pantry full of food they can't open. If you store canned food for emergencies, you need a manual can opener. That's it. Budget target, about $6–10. Pick one that feels solid and doesn't slip. If you want a tiny backup, a small military-style opener can live in a bag or glove box and still get the job done. The beginner prepper mistake is assuming you'll figure it out later. Later is when you're hungry, stressed, and the lights are out. Quick tip: keep the can opener with the food, not somewhere in the kitchen. In an emergency, you want your setup to be obvious. If you have to hunt for gear, you didn't actually prepare, you just bought stuff. And while you're at it, toss a cheap metal spoon in the same spot. It's not glamorous, but eating warm food with the right tool feels surprisingly normal when everything else is weird. Number 6. Fire kit. That's boring but works. Fire is useful, but it's also something to treat with respect. The goal isn't to look tough. It's to have a reliable way to make heat and light when it's safe and allowed to do so. A solid beginner fire kit is simple. 2 or 3 basic pocket lighters, a backup spark tool like a ferro rod, and a small stash of dependable tinder kept dry in a sealed bag. Fancy tactical fire starters aren't necessary. Reliability is. Budget target, about $12–18. Storage matters more than brand names. If your lighter gets soaked, it doesn't matter how cool it looked online. Keep the kit in a waterproof pouch and keep it away from kids and heat sources. If you live somewhere with seasonal fire restrictions, respect them. No piece of gear is worth causing a disaster. A smart mindset here. You're building redundancy. Lighters are easy. A spark tool is your backup. Tinder is what turns sparks into an actual flame when conditions aren't perfect. It's the boring combo that keeps working. One thing that keeps this YouTube safe and real life safe: fire is optional in many scenarios. If you're in a city apartment during a blackout, your focus might be light, warmth, and communication, not open flames. If you do need fire outdoors, choose a safe spot, keep it small, and follow local rules. Preparedness is about control, not chaos. One more beginner tip: don't stash all your fire tools in one place. Keep a lighter in the kitchen kit, one in the bag, maybe one in the car kit. Redundancy is cheap here. Number 7. Headlamp with spare batteries. Hands-free light is a cheat code. The moment the power goes out, you realize how many tasks require both hands. checking the breaker, carrying supplies, cooking, handling pets, walking around without tripping. A headlamp keeps you functional. Budget target, about $15–25. Look for a low mode that lasts a long time, a brighter mode for quick tasks, and buttons you can operate without a learning curve. For beginners, headlamps that use common batteries are often the easiest because you can find replacements anywhere. Then add spare batteries in a little case so they don't rattle around and short out against loose metal. Simple habit that pays off. Once a month, turn it on, check the brightness, and put it back. Prepping doesn't have to be a whole lifestyle. It can be a 5-second habit that saves you a headache during the next outage. If you wear glasses, test it with glasses. If you have long hair, test it with a beanie or hat. Little comfort issues are what make people stop using gear. Number 8. Power bank and cables. Your phone is a flashlight, a map, a camera, a contact list, and a way to get updates. It's also the first thing to die when you're stressed and using it non-stop. A power bank gives you breathing room. Budget target, about $18–25. Aim for a capacity that can recharge your phone at least 2 to 3 times. Keep a short charging cable in the same pouch, and if your household has different devices, throw in a second cable, or a small multi-tip cable so you're not stuck with the wrong connector. Low effort trick, keep the power bank topped up. Not at 100% every day, just don't let it sit dead for months. If you want a simple routine, charge it on the first weekend of the month, and you're done. And here's the part that people forget. In an emergency, conserve as well as charge. Use airplane mode when you can. Lower screen brightness, and download maps ahead of time if you know a storm is coming. That stretches every percentage point. Another easy battery saver. In many situations, text messages go through with a weaker signal than calls, and they use less power. And if you've got important addresses, family, work, a meeting place, save them offline or write them down. In a real emergency, the problem isn't usually that you don't have information. It's that you can't access it when you need it. Also, write down a couple of key phone numbers on paper and keep it in the same pouch. When batteries die, paper suddenly looks genius. Number 9. Emergency weather radio. Information is a resource, especially when the situation is changing. A basic emergency radio helps you get weather alerts and local updates without burning through your phone battery. It also keeps you from guessing based on rumors and recycled screenshots. Budget target, about $20–35. For beginners, the best feature is boring. It runs on standard batteries. Hand crank and solar options are nice, but treat them like backups, not magic. The main goal is receiving updates when cell service is spotty, or when you're trying to conserve power. Urban prepping note. This isn't just for tornado country. Wildfire smoke, severe storms, and power grid issues can happen anywhere. And a radio gives you a calm channel of information when everyone else is refreshing their phone. Small tip, keep fresh batteries with the radio, not in a random drawer. When you're stressed, you want open pouch, it works, not now I have to search the house. If the radio has a headphone jack, cheap earbuds can be handy at night so you're not blasting noise while everyone's trying to sleep. Number 10. DIY first aid kit. Most cheap pre-made first aid kits are full of tiny bandages that feel comforting and not much else. Building your own kit is usually better and still budget-friendly. Think real life, not movie injuries, minor cuts, scrapes, blisters, strains, headaches, and allergies. Budget target, about $25–35. Start with gauze pads, medical tape, a few larger bandages, antiseptic wipes, blister care, moleskin or blister patches, tweezers, small scissors, and an elastic wrap. Add a couple pairs of nitrile gloves to keep things clean during first aid or messy cleanup. If your household uses certain over-the-counter meds regularly, include small amounts in their original packaging and follow the label directions. If someone has prescriptions, keep a plan for those too. A simple way is to keep a written list of what you use and where it's stored, so you're not relying on memory when you're stressed. Also, include a few basic comfort items that prevent small issues from turning into big ones, like blister care and an elastic wrap. Those are the things that keep you moving. A small info card is a sneaky upgrade. Write down allergies, emergency contacts, and any key medical info for your household. Keep it in the kit in a sealed bag. In a stressful moment, having it written down is a lifesaver. The adult move here is training, not buying. A basic first aid class makes this kit 10 times more useful, and it keeps you from improvising under stress. The kit is supplies. The skill is what makes it work. Number 11. Hygiene and sanitation kit. Prepping gets a lot easier when you remember that hygiene is health. In a short emergency, staying clean prevents problems from stacking up, especially if water is limited or you're dealing with crowded spaces. Budget target, about $8-15. A simple kit can still feel like luxury when you need it. Hand sanitizer, a small bar of soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, wet wipes, and a few heavy-duty trash bags. Trash bags are the underrated hero because they handle garbage, wet gear, cleanup, and even protecting items from rain in a pinch. If you've ever been stuck somewhere with no clean bathroom, you already know how fast a situation can go from annoying to I can't focus on anything else. A few basic hygiene items keep you functional, and that matters. Beginner-friendly tip: pack this in a sealed zip bag inside your main bag. When you're tired, the last thing you want is a leaky bottle soaking your whole kit. And if you're prepping for a family, make the hygiene pouch the first thing you can reach, because small kids and dirty hands have a way of creating chaos fast. Number 12. Warmth layer. Cold doesn't always look dramatic, but it drains your energy and makes you sloppy. A big part of staying warm is staying insulated from the ground, and that's why a closed-cell foam pad is such a smart purchase. It won't pop, it still works wet, and it instantly improves comfort if you're stuck sleeping in a car, on a floor during a winter outage, or outdoors unexpectedly. Budget target, about $20-28 for a foam pad, plus $5-10 for an emergency blanket or compact emergency bivvy. This combo is also about problem solving. Foam pads can be cut to fit in a bag, used as a seat, or used to protect gear. Emergency blankets are lightweight wind blockers and heat reflectors. Together, they buy you time and comfort when the situation is cold and annoying. Quick reminder that saves misery. Warmth is layers. The pad keeps the cold from stealing your heat. The blanket cuts wind and helps hold heat. Your normal clothing does the rest. If you're building a home kit, don't forget the simplest warmth plan. Pick one place in the home where you can all sleep warmer together. Living room, hallway, wherever, and keep the pad and emergency blanket there. It turns a scattered household into one warm spot without any complicated setup. If you live somewhere cold, don't underestimate the tiny extras like warm socks and a hat. They're not expensive, and they punch way above their weight when you're trying to stay comfortable through the night. Number 13. Personal protection basics. A lot of emergencies are basically cleanup. Broken glass, splintered wood, dust, smoke, insulation, nasty air. Basic protection gear makes that safer and less miserable. Keep a pair of sturdy work gloves, a couple quality dust masks, and simple safety glasses in your kit. Budget target, about $12-18. Gloves protect your hands when you're moving debris, handling rough materials, or fixing things. Masks help when the air is full of dust or smoke. Safety glasses sound like overkill until you get grit in your eye and realize how fast a minor issue becomes a big problem. This is also a city prepping win. Even in a normal apartment building, a broken window, a small kitchen incident, or post-storm cleanup can throw dust and debris everywhere. Having protection means you can actually do what needs to be done instead of standing there blinking and coughing. A simple tip: store these items in an outer pocket or top pouch. Protection gear only helps if it's easy to grab before you start the messy work. Number 14. Multi-tool. A multi-tool is what you reach for when something is loose, stuck, or halfway broken, and you don't have a full toolbox in front of you. Pliers help with gripping, bending, pulling, and small repairs. Screwdriver bits handle battery compartments, loose hardware, and quick fixes that keep gear from falling apart. Budget target, about $20-35. The best beginner advice is to choose one that feels comfortable and opens smoothly. If it's annoying to use, you won't use it. It doesn't need to be the fanciest model on the shelf, it needs to be dependable. And here's a simple way to think about it. In a short emergency, you're mostly doing small fixes. Tighten something, cut something, pull something, open something. A multi-tool covers a surprising amount of that. If you want to make it even more useful without spending much, add 1 or 2 extra screwdriver bits that match the common screws in your home. It's a tiny upgrade that makes the tool feel custom to your life. Number 15. Utility knife with spare blades. For most practical tasks, a utility knife with replaceable blades is more useful than an oversized survival knife. It's inexpensive, it stays sharp because you can swap blades, and it's easy to control for small work like cutting cord, trimming material, opening packages, or doing quick repairs. Budget target: about $10–18. If you prefer a locking folding knife, keep it practical and legal where you live. Either way, treat it like a work tool. Store spare blades safely in a small case so they don't rattle loose in your kit. Beginner safety note: sharp tools are safer than dull tools because you don't have to force them. The prepared move is keeping the cutting tool useful, not using it for the wrong jobs. This is also one place where simple wins. Replaceable blades mean you don't need sharpening skills to keep it effective. You just keep a few spares, and you're set. Number 16. Compact folding saw. A compact folding saw turns tough cutting into a controlled, low-drama job. It's useful for clearing storm debris, trimming branches, and breaking down wood into manageable pieces. For beginners, a saw is often easier than an axe because the motion is predictable and you can work steadily without big swings. Budget target: about $15–25. Look for a saw that locks open solidly and folds closed safely, with a handle that won't destroy your hand after a few minutes. It's also a tool you can actually use without a ton of technique, which matters when you're tired. If you live in a city and you're thinking, why would I ever need this? Storm cleanup is why. Branches down, debris in the way, small repairs that need material cut cleanly. And here's a practical pairing: a saw plus a tarp. And Cordage is a fast way to manage fallen branches, cover damaged areas, or create a quick protected workspace outside. Number 17. Repair kit. Stuff breaks at the worst possible time. A basic repair kit keeps small problems from becoming big ones, and it costs almost nothing. The core is simple: duct tape, zip ties, a couple safety pins, and a small needle and thread set. Budget target: about $8–12. Duct tape patches tarps, reinforces weak spots, labels things, and fixes annoying little cracks. Zip ties replace broken clips and hold loose parts together fast. Safety pins are quick fixes for clothing and straps. Needle and thread handle repairs. Tape can't, like seams and straps. The key is packing it in a way you'll actually use. Put everything in one small bag and include a short strip of duct tape wrapped around an old card or a pen if you don't want to carry the whole roll. A lot of beginners buy repair kits that are basically novelty. You don't need 50 tiny pieces. You need a few strong, simple fixes you can do quickly when you're stressed. If you want one extra thing that stays cheap and useful, add a few inches of strong cord, or a spare buckle from an old bag small parts that can replace a broken strap in seconds. But keep it minimal. The best repair kit is the one you can understand at a glance. Number 18. Cordage. Cordage is the tool that quietly solves 100 small problems. It lets you tie down gear in your car so it doesn't slide, secure a tarp, bundle items, hang wet clothes, or create a quick handle for carrying awkward loads. Budget target: about $6–10. You don't need a massive spool. A reasonable length of paracord or strong utility line is plenty for a beginner kit. The value is flexibility. When you can tie something off, you can make do without fancy hardware. If you want the easiest skill upgrade ever, learn 2 basic knots and practice them a couple times at home. Not because you're trying to become a sailor, but because "I can secure this in 10 seconds" is a superpower when you're stressed. One more small tip: keep cordage neatly wrapped. Tangled cord is the kind of tiny annoyance that wastes time when you need speed. Number 19. Tarp shelter. A tarp is the definition of simple but serious. It blocks rain, creates shade, protects gear, and gives you a dry place to sit and think when everything is damp and annoying. In home emergencies, a tarp can help manage a leak or cover a broken window temporarily until you can get proper repairs. Budget target, about $15–20. The biggest mistake is buying a paper-thin tarp that shreds in the first gust. You want reinforced corners, solid grommets, and material that doesn't feel like it will rip if you pull it tight. Pair it with your cordage, and you've got shelter options without committing to a bulky tent. Beginner tip: practice setting it up once on a calm day. Not because you're planning to live under it, but because the first time you deal with tarp corners and knots shouldn't be in the rain, in the dark, with cold hands. And remember, a tarp isn't only sleeping outside. It's also a ground cover for sorting gear, a rain shield for supplies, a sun blocker for hot days, and a way to keep your workspace dry while you handle repairs. Number 20. Signaling and navigation kit. Knowing where you are and being able to get attention can shorten a bad situation fast. A simple kit covers both without taking much space. A loud whistle, a small signal mirror, a bright bandana, a tiny compass, and a folded local map. Budget target, about $10–18. A whistle carries farther than your voice and doesn't wear you out. A mirror can reflect sunlight and grab attention in ways a phone screen can't. The bandana is the bonus item. Visibility, a simple dust cover, a quick wrap, or even a pre-filter for gritty water before you run it through your main filter. The compass and map are there for the moments when your phone has no signal, your battery is low, or you just need to confirm where you are without guessing. A beginner-friendly habit. Keep a paper map of your local area, plus one out-of-town route that makes sense for your life work, school, family. Even if you never use it, it's peace of mind that doesn't depend on Wi-Fi. And when it comes to signaling, keep it simple. A whistle is loud, reliable, and works when you're tired. Many people use short, repeated blasts as a general distress signal, but the main point is consistency. Make it easy for someone else to understand you're asking for help. Also, if you're prepping with family, this is where a basic "where do we meet if phones are dead?" plan fits naturally. A map and a compass aren't just for hiking, they're for reducing confusion. This is the quiet confidence kit. It doesn't look flashy, but it stacks the odds in your favor when you're trying to get help, get oriented, or avoid wandering in circles.